Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in this afternoon session. Please welcome Monica, Sam, and Ievgenii.
Hello everyone, welcome to the session. Monica, Ievgenii, Sam here. We are going to talk about how to create, extend, and use Business Central integrations with multiple different Microsoft 365 collaboration apps. So let's just assume that we work for an organization that is responsible to give loyalty rewards to the Business Central customers. And how do we do that? We have an extension for it. So let me show you the extension quickly. So we have a reward entity, table for reward, which has the reward ID, and it has the minimum purchase amount criteria that you need to meet if you want to reach to a certain reward. We currently provide 3 reward levels, bronze, silver, and gold. And once you meet the reward level, then a certain discount percentage can be applied to that reward. As you can see, we have also extended some customer entities here, so we can store which customer is at currently what reward level. So we are now going to show you the scenario for a case that we got to explore what is the reward level for customers. And we are going to show you how we can, we're going to show you how we can analyze the reward level for a customer. So let me first see to go to customers and see what is the reward level for the support case that we got. So we are going to go to Antwerp Corporation, and we see that currently the reward level for this customer is silver. However, the total sales do look too high, so they must have met the criteria. Let me collaborate with my team to see what is the issue here. And any collaboration starts with share, so I'm gonna click on share to teams. This is the new feature that we have, where I can just go ahead and select the team channel and see the link for the entity that I want to share. But now we can also see the preview of that entity before actually sharing it. And you can see that you have the reward ID for the customer in the customer card itself. So let me go up and actually type the message to ask help from the team. So I'm going to just say, hey, we have a case for below customer. Can someone help? And I'm going to just go ahead and click share on it. So now we have shared the entity. Let's just go ahead and go to Teams and see what happened. So we are in Teams now. We can clearly see the entity has been shared. I'll just go ahead and click on details to see how the entity look in Teams with the almost full screen experience. This is what we call as stage view layout. And it's also another feature that is currently available in all the Business Central production environments. I'll just now go ahead and pin the entity so that I can bring my entire team on the common view so they know that we have a support case to work on. This is a feature that's going to come soon in upcoming Business Central versions. So we have tapped the pin, and I'm expecting now our expert, Ievgenii, who can analyze what's the issue with this report.
Thank you, Monica. OK, so back to Teams. So a message from Monica. I'm just going to reply that yes, I'm on it. So she feels good about it. And how do you start an analysis? Well, in my case, I'll start with the data. I go to the customer sales list report. I'll just preview it and see quickly if that report have enough data where I can make my analysis. And that looks OK. It had customers, sales, and so on and so forth. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to send it to Excel document or data only, because I want to work on a data set which empowers that report. And when that report is loaded and Excel file is opened, which usually takes a couple of clicks. Now I have a data, so I can probably take it, make auto refill, select a couple of records. Every analysis will start with a pivot table these days, so I can go to insert like a recommended pivot table, start with some default suggestion. So I have like a geography and a sum of sales. I can also bring a customers, and obviously I can maybe insert some more advanced visualizations to pitch my point that yes, that customer maybe deserves to be promoted to the next level. Now, I obviously can build very extended visualization to support my case, and let's say I just did that. So to save time, we prepare a file which have exactly the same data set or sample one, and then we can build much more advanced visuals for me as a user to complete my tasks. So I have advanced filtering, and I can look on the sales data from different angles. Now I want to go to Business Central, go back to my report, and that's a new feature coming in this release, that I can go ahead and right when I schedule a report, I can choose a layout I want to use to run my report or create a new one. So I'll press a new button, give a new name and for my layout like customer sales list better. We can do better. You press a button, you select a layout or file we just created. And obviously, in a real life, you'll probably schedule your report, so I can send it to my report inbox, and now Business Central will process BC data based on the layouts we just created. Okay, so at some point of time, if I go back to my reporting box, I can open the document in a OneDrive, see the final results. Open first, and then see the final results. And this way also maybe invite more of my colleagues on collaboration. That, hey, here is my data set coming from Business Central, and all my visualizations obviously are now live. So I can conclude my task and say, yes, this customer has to be upgraded to the gold level. So that was a scenario where I run a report and make some analysis using Excel layouts to get some conclusions. But sometimes you don't have that, or maybe you don't necessarily have the data sample you start with. So let's see what else can you do. Sometimes you start with a data you have on a screen. So in this case, I just go on a list and open my list in Excel, basically getting the same columns to my Excel file which I see on the screen, just one click away from me. Okay. I can again auto fit all the columns. And let's just select a couple of columns for now, like maybe number, name, balance, and sales, because I want to analyze again this data. We'll just copy them to another tab, paste it here, format as a table. It's just kind of a very natural step for me to do. Okay, I'm going to use a feature which my organization powered me in Excel. I'm going to data and select the organizational type, which allow me to bring live data from Business Central right to my Excel file. So I'm going to click organizational type on selected columns, and Excel will bring a live data from Business Central right to me. And if I'll move it a little bit here, so what's happening, we were able to recognize that 10,000 is a customer number, bring data from ERP back to my screen. I can scroll a bit. Okay, I can maybe bring rewards IDs on the screen, so I can clearly see that, yes, that customer is silver, high sales, let's put them to more. I can bring more data, maybe like a geography, to continue doing my analysis. So just another way for me to conclude the same task. And now, again, I'm in Excel, I'm OneDrive. I can maybe leave a comment to my colleague Monica. Hey, all good. Here's a document. Here's like data to conclude we need to upgrade the customer to the next level. Please take a look if you agree with that or not. I can go ahead and create a task, which is super easy and convenient for me right from Excel. And obviously, because in OneDrive, I can go ahead and share the document with my colleagues, and she'll be notified, and we can continue from here.
So I just got a notification on Outlook Let's see what's that about. So I can see that Ievgenii has sent me a task. Let me go to the comment. And he says, oh, please upgrade the customer to reward level goal. So good, we did the analysis and the data looks good. So let me just go to Teams and click on, I can either update the level from details or from tab. So I'm going to click on tab and then update the level. Let me go to the edit mode, and I'm going to change from silver to gold. And that's how easy it was, because now we all know we are working on this entity, so I can just use the tab option. So let me also go to Excel and mark the task as completed that was assigned to me. And I'm going to follow back on the chat we were having. So I'm going to say, thank you. I have updated the reward level. And also, I want to say to Sam that please make sure that the customer gets the new welcome level for gold. So he should send the welcome letter. Over to you, Sam.
All right, thanks, Monica. Yes, so I go over to Teams, and I see I've received a notification from Monica. So I'll go ahead and give it a like, so I'll start working on it. So I can use the details action here to open up Business Central, and then I can double check what the latest reward level of this customer is. So I can see it's gold, and then from here I can peek and then go to the gold record, and we have some attachments in the document attachment fact box here, which includes the kind of welcome brochure we have to the gold reward level. So I'll go ahead and click share. And what this will do is take this document in the attached documents fact box and upload it to my OneDrive, and then present me with the common share dialog that you're probably familiar with from other Microsoft 365 products. And then from there, once that pops up, I can go ahead and click Outlook, and that will open up the Compose editor in Outlook. And I can go ahead and let Robert Towns, who's the contact for this customer, know that they've reached the gold reward level, and write some kind of quick introduction email. So I'll say like, welcome to the gold reward level. And I'll try and type quickly. So I'll be like, hi, we would like to, and you get all the autocomplete suggestions and stuff from Outlook. It's like just the full editor. And then, yeah, just say that they can see the document here. I'll just quickly sign this off and hit send. Yes, so now that's been sent to Robert, and I've kind of let them know that they're part of the gold rewards tier. So I can now close the stage view as well, and then reply to Monica back in Teams that I've kind of updated everything. So that's kind of the task done. So I'll go ahead. And yeah, so this is kind of the whole collaboration scenario we've been trying to demonstrate here. And I'll hand over now to Monica, who can hopefully tell us a bit more about the collaboration in Teams specifically, and how we can adapt these, extend these adaptive cards. Sorry.
Thanks, Sam. Let's take a pause over here. So what did we see? We saw a lot of experience across multiple Microsoft 365 apps. But what are we going to talk about now? We're going to talk about that how you, as an AL developer, can create and extend these experiences. So let's start with developer extensibility for a Teams card. You, as an AL developer, can extend adaptive cards for both existing entities, but also your custom entities. You, as an AL developer, has a full control on what will be the final fields that will be shown on a Teams card. How can you do that? You can do that by having two options. First option is using brick field metadata group, and second option is using AL events. Let's just switch to first option's demo. How are we going to use brick field group for custom and base entities? So I'm going to switch the screen. And here, you have seen this before. Yeah, we have the reward table, as we are working for a company that provides rewards to the loyal customers. And I want to bring the reward custom entity into Teams. How do I do that? I just go to the source table and go to field groups and quickly just add the brick field group. A brick field group is the group that basically has a set of fields that specify the record and can summarize and identify the record in a glance. So choose the fields accordingly. We also suggest to use the second field in the group, something like name or description, because this is the same field that is projected as bold in web and mobile client. So now brick field will also be used to project the second field in bold in Teams. So we get a consistent experience across all Business Central clients. And let me just go ahead and publish this extension. So I can just do publish. And while this is publishing, we can just go to Teams and see in Business Central client if the extension is published. Yep, looks good. Okay, let it load. So we can just go to the same, we can just search for rewards, because that's what we added the brick field group to. I can just go to a gold level reward. And let's copy the link for it. Go to Teams, and just start a new conversation, and paste the link here to see the preview of that card. And you can see that it was so easy to bring your custom entity into Teams card just by adding the brick field group. But this was about the custom entity. How can we extend the existing entity? So we already saw that the customer card can be extended to have the reward ID in the initial demo. So I'm just quickly going to show how to do that. So we have a table extension for customer here. And in the field groups, instead of just adding the brick, you actually add last to the existing brick that is defined in base app. And you can add the fields that you want. We only added reward ID, but you can just choose any fields that you want. So that was the demo for extending using brick field group.
Come on.
Let's see the second option, extending using AL events. Business Central offers 3 different AL events so that you can choose full control of fields on the Teams card. You can read about this in the documentation as well. Without going into details, I just want to mention that these events are part of the system application in the page summary provider module. And I'm going to just demo one of them. Let's choose on after get summary fields. So this is the base card that we have without any customization or extensions. So it has name, number, balance, and many details. And let's go to the Visual Studio Code to see how we can extend on after get summary fields. It provides page ID, record ID, and field list as the parameters. Field list is the one where you can add and remove fields, and the order that you add and remove fields in this will be the same order that the fields will be presented in the Teams card. So we can use the page ID to select which card we want to customize. In this case, we'll just use customer card. And then we remove balance details, add reward ID, and add city phone number, and publish. So now that is being published. We can just go to the customer record and copy the link again to see how the card looks. So let's go to Teams. And we'll click a new conversation. And here is the modified card. Let me paste the link. And now you can see immediately that in the preview, the balance fields are removed, the reward ID is added, and all the fields that we were interested in are added. So this was just one example, but you can just use other events according to your need to extend the existing entities. So let's summarize. What did we see for Teams today? We saw that pin a tab in Teams is coming soon. you as an AL developer had full control in the final fields of Teams card. And in most cases, metadata is enough. Actually, we do recommend you to use Brickfield Group for consistent experience across all Business Central clients. And any external data that you want to bring to Teams can be just brought easily by custom entities. All these features are available only for Business Central Online. So we suggest developer testing in Sandbox and not in Docker. And as a partner or as an admin, if you want to just get started on Teams, we suggest to use the centralized deployment so that all of your users can get the app by default. And as a developer, if you want to know more, you can refer to the documentation here. So now we learned about how to do extension on Teams. Switching over to Ievgenii to learn about how to do Excel creations.
How many of you tried Excel layouts? Really? James, have you seen how many hands we had? No. Okay, so Excel layouts is awesome. It's really like a great feature, very easy to build. You export a data set, you bring it back to the product with a powerful visualization. Like, just go ahead and use it. When you run a report, we give you a new feature. You can go ahead and change your layout on the fly. So you need to go somewhere and predefine, which is default. You can just change it as you go, and it's just easy to use. As a developer, you can go ahead and bring your layouts together with your reports. You can also go ahead and define that Excel will be your default layout for all reports going forward. Just easier, better, easy to build, easy to maintain, looks beautiful, like all the benefits you get from that. We have a number of samples, as Vincent advertised today, on our GitHub, github.com Microsoft BC Tech. You can go ahead and download and see how it works. And I have a number of excellent community blog posts on this topic, so just Bing it or Google it and learn how to use Excel layouts. Now, let's talk about organizational type. I don't know if you pay attention, but it's like a magical feature. I'm in Excel, I'm working with the data, and I can bring the data from my ERP backend, and I'm not even know where it's coming from. It goes to this level of abstraction from APIs. I can enrich my reports, take a decision, and it just works. As a developer, you need to build custom APIs which provide you data. Everything starts with the data, obviously. I'm going to show you quickly how you can leverage Power BI to bring this Excel experience. It's really, really straightforward. You can share organizational types with your organization, and it's easy to get started. If you're in a Power BI desktop, you want to get the data for your API, you want to connect to our online service. We're online service, it's like Business Central. And while you're connecting, we'll try to detect all the API available endpoints, and we'll go for our demo sandbox, and we'll retrieve API we built to get sales rewards data, which you just seen I was using a couple of minutes ago. Okay, it's nothing special like a sales sales number, like a customer data. We're going to load the data to Power BI. Not so many records. You can see a schema, very straightforward to you, and the data set how it looks like. Now, you need to go ahead now and put the switch feature table, mark this table as a feature table, and when you do it, that's where the magic happens. So you say, I want to mark this table as a sales data with rewards. I want to provide a label, let's say customer number. I want to provide a primary key column so Excel know how to resolve an entity by that value. When you save it, you just go ahead and publish your Power BI report to your organization. And we recommend you use Teams workspaces, meaning we can, I can invite Monica and Sam and collaborate with them. So when you publish your report and your table, you go back to Power BI Online, which has nothing, but when you refresh, or when we refresh, you'll be able to see that those assets get published, and once it's done, we can start using them for real. All right. So when you have it deployed, we can just start our Excel story, refresh Excel file, go to data, and our organizational type becomes instantly available for those users. So you can see we have organizational type called customer rewards data. And now if you have a value like 10,000, which means nothing for any decent human being, but we know that it's a customer number, so you can press a button, create a type, and bring all the advanced information from ERP right to your reporting. And again, I don't even need to know where it's coming from. I can go ahead and start my reporting job right from here, bring him a column, and so on and so forth. This is a pretty cool competitive advantages. I don't know if other products can do it, but yeah, really awesome. Short summary. How many of you tried to use organizational data types with Excel before? Okay. Please spend time to learn about that. This is a feature powered by Power BI. It's required to have Power BI Pro license because Power BI will maintain a layer which will hold your data. So Excel talk to Power BI. Power BI will talk, periodically to Business Central. You're not going to put a lot of queries to your backend. Super powerful feature, great for pre-sales, great for developers, great for all of us. It will work with Excel on premises and Excel in the cloud. So, because many people use just Excel in their box, and it will just work great with that. Finally, you have seen all the demos we did today work with the files which are stored in a OneDrive. When I open file in Excel, edit in Excel, look on the reports, they all went to the OneDrive. And with that, we'll ask Sam to tell us how it's possible and how is a developer can build solution to work with a OneDrive.
Yep, sounds good. Thanks. So yes, we brought the share experience to Business Central, and it should be the same experience that you're used to in all the other like M365 products. But something kind of a bit different that Business Central does is it takes the file from Business Central and it will upload it to your OneDrive for Business before showing the share options or opening the document in the OneDrive preview. From the share menu itself, you're then able to like email a link like we did in the demo, or copy a link, or if it's already been shared, you can actually just adjust the link settings from inside Business Central. And we've tried to organize how we upload these documents a little bit. So it will be written to a Business Central folder inside your OneDrive, and then we'll also split it based on your company name. So it's a little bit organized. But I'm sure you all know how share works, so I will dive more into the developer experience. So how can you extend your scenarios with these share and open actions? So I've built my own extension on top of the rewards extension, which adds my own open and share actions, because actually with these welcome packs, quite often I want to share multiple documents, and in the attachment fact box, we can only share one document at a time. So what my extension does is adds a new page, and it will zip up all the files together, and then with one click, I can kind of share or open them in OneDrive and share it with the contact. So I won't go into the details of how I do all the zipping and stuff, but I wanted to point out kind of the actions we have. So we have like the open in OneDrive action and the share with OneDrive action, and they both have these captions and tooltips and images that we try to keep consistent throughout the product. So if you're adding your own, please use these same properties. We also have this visible property, and that should be set to a helper that we have in System App that will make sure we hide the actions if OneDrive integration has been disabled, or if it's been enabled, then obviously it should be visible. And finally, in the trigger, we have this document sharing code unit in system application, and then there's the share method that takes essentially the file name you want to pass in, the file extension, and then the stream of data that you would like to share. And then there's this intent enum that kind of says whether or not you want it to open or share. There's actually a third one as well, which is prompt, so that will give like a little string menu to the end user to decide what they want to do. So yeah, I can go ahead and hit publish, and then hopefully the Wi-Fi is good. So I'll just upload this extension. Yes, so I'll pop over to Business Central and go over to the rewards list. And over here now you see this open welcome pack action that opens this new page. I can go over to gold, click open, and I put some like information just to make it a bit easier. But then I can go ahead and click open. That will then zip up all these files for me, start the upload process to OneDrive, and then once that's completed, it will invoke the preview, OneDrive previewer. Anytime, yes, good. So yes, here you see the previewer knows how to kind of deal with zip files, so I can see the contents inside the zip, and that's all the attachments. So that's nice. We have a few design considerations we'd like you all to be aware of when implementing these for your own features. So we have this like share, open, download concept that we've brought everywhere in the base application. So if you're also extending your download scenarios, it'd be cool to keep download as well, just so like end users have all the options. We recommend looking in base app as well for how we've implemented these actions, and then you can just copy paste because the boilerplate's essentially the same. And yeah, pretty much any data stream can be uploaded. It just depends on the file type and whether the OneDrive previewer will handle it. So most open formats it will support, but if it's like some proprietary ones, it may struggle a little bit. And the next question you may have is, how do you administrate this feature? So we've added a new OneDrive setup wizard for this release. This allows admins to manage the file handling within Business Central. And it applies across the whole environment, so it is cross-company. And essentially you get two toggles. One is for app features and one is for system features. App features are effectively these open share actions that are invoked through AL. And you can think of the system features as more platform-based ones, so like open in Excel, edit in Excel, and all the reporting. The setup itself is managed by permissions, so you can gate who can change these features quite easily. And if anyone here has been using the legacy SharePoint OneDrive stuff, there'll be a little migration step as well that will show you what may or may not be changing when running this setup. Then on the other side, SharePoint also has an admin center, and this will allow you to manage how the file sharing is managed across all of M365 as well as Business Central. And it lets you set policies on whether or not you can share your files outside your organization, or how long links can be valid for, and like a bunch of other stuff. And yeah, this policy is just shared across the entire tenant. So in summary, I would love you all to extend your download scenarios with these open and share actions, and also to run the OneDrive wizard on your environments so that you get the latest and greatest integrations. So like the main one I think is edit in Excel. In this way will work with OneDrive. So yeah, I hope you all found that useful. Hopefully this enables you to increase your collaboration with other tools with Business Central, and you can take this all to your IP as well. Thank you.
Yes, Vinay?
Yeah. You got any questions? Oh, well, you'll take them.
It was a long day. You can just shout, I'll repeat your question, no problem. Is there any way for us to control the directory in which the files are processed in OneDrive? Yeah, the question was if you can control where the files goes, directory, programmatically or dynamically.
At the moment, not really. So it will go into this company directory, but in the path you pass in, I guess you could add a child directory as well, and then it will just get put under there.
Can you show Sam how to get to the folder from Business Central and how it's stored maybe?
Yeah, so we have a few ways actually. So we have one in My Settings. We have this cloud storage label now. So you can click this.
It's not projected, sorry.
Oh. All right, well, I can go back maybe, I don't know. I don't have control. Yes, good. Yes, so yeah, I go to my settings, and then here you can see your cloud storage kind of thing. So you click this, and then it will kind of auto-discover how, like if you have your Business Central folder and your company folder, and then it will drop everything in. And you can see this is the welcome pack I just uploaded. Obviously, you can also go through the waffle in the top left, but that will just take you to the root directory. So whatever way you prefer. Yeah. Any other questions? over there, yes. It's hard to see.
Yeah. I got this question. So the question was, I have approvals in Business Central. You can obviously send it to Teams, but how would the person approve in the Teams without going to Business Central, press a button? Is that the question? Yeah. Yeah. So actually, if we go to Business Central, maybe we can also demo it right now.
You want to take it?
If you go to Power. So the short answer, you can. In Business Central, we have out-of-box 6 or 7 available approval templates. When you deploy this template, the flow we create has the different steps. And we're going to use Microsoft Teams approval app, which allows you to notify the user you have an approval. And you can take an action from Teams, like approve or decline, and then it'll call on the backend our web services to confirm or deny approval. So you can do it today. One more time. You can create approval flow, go to Teams, go to your phone, you press a button on your phone, is get approval Business Central. And that's, you can do it right now. We also have a number of plans to improve the story in the future, like for next release to make it better. Obviously, in Business Central, you don't have a, like maybe UX pattern that is an approval. You don't get notified as a user necessarily that your order was approved and so on and so forth. But the basic scenario you described is possible right now with Business Central. And to show you that, if you just go to Power Automate, maybe Sam, you can type with your credentials on your keyboard. We can show it quickly.
Yeah, no, I haven't used it on this user, but we can try.
Just sign in. So I hope it's fine with you. I just want to show you how it's done. Okay, so we don't really have anything.
Yeah, no.
Okay, if you, yeah.
But there's a session.
Actually, we have a session tomorrow about Power Automate improvements, and we can also show you the demo on the session. Our colleagues can do it. So please come by. It's an awesome question.
Yeah. I think it's 9 a.m. tomorrow.
Good time.
Yep.
I just want to add that just from the Teams card perspective, the only control AL developer has is on the list of fields, not actually on the actions. Power Platform is the answer to your question.
Yeah, we need to configure that.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So if
Can you repeat the question?
I'll repeat the question. So the question is, I guess essentially, does it work with Outlook desktop? Yes. So yeah, let me just quickly share up some of the document. So yeah, this has put the file on OneDrive, and yeah, so there's this action here, and that action will always open the Outlook web app. But you can also just enter contacts from like here. So for example, I can type Monica. And this will then, if I click send, that will also send an email directly. Or you can, of course, just copy a link and then go to Outlook desktop. But we don't, there's no like one click to Outlook desktop. Yeah, sorry. Teams desktop. Yeah, that all works, right?
But I guess it's fair to say that all the integrations try to build the work in the cloud. That's where we try to deliver value.
Yeah.
And from there, we try to derive for on-premises if we can. But sometimes we have technology limitation, which is just hard for us to address.
Yeah.
Like the demo is today from Harina, where we can take a file, send to AI Builder, get PDF, convert to real document. Those assets work in the cloud.
Cool.
More questions?
don't see any. Great.
Thank you for your time. We
Thank
have
you
5
for
minutes
attention.
for
Thank
next presenters.